Opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and not WSTU. WSTU does not endorse any products mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU.
The Treasure Coast longest-running local talk radio show is on the air. The Treasure Coast Forum. Get interested, get educated, get involved, and give us a call with your opinions at 220-9788. And here's your host of the Treasure Coast Forum.
Hello, happy Thursday. My name is Brianna Pierre-Lewis, but you can call me No, and I'll be your host for today. And sadly, in the studio, it's just Mr. Frank and I, since John is dealing with some stuff that I had to deal with. Yeah, but you know what, John, we're supporting you. Yeah. Good luck, man. Yeah. Right? We'll shed some light on that later. To know him is to love him, right? Right? Yeah. Mr. Frank, I'll let you take things from here, though.
All right.
You had something for us.
I asked you a question before we went on air if you knew what Old Ironsides was. And that is this day in history. So the world's oldest commissioned warship afloat is the USS Constitution, a sailing frigate launched in Boston in 1797. She was built from 2,000 trees with sturdy oak planks that measured up to 7 inches thick. Paul Revere forged the copper bolts that held the timbers in place and the copper sheathing that helped protect the hull. The Constitution was first put into sea in July of 1798 to cruise the West Indies, protecting U.S. merchant ships from French privateers. And in 1803, President Jefferson sent her to the Mediterranean to fight the Barbary pirates. That is a great book, by the way. Brian Kilmeade wrote the book on the Barbary pirates. It's recommended reading. It's a good book. All right. The Constitution led the American squadron that chased the pirates and bombarded fortifications until the Barbary states agreed to stop preying on American merchant vessels. And on August 19th, on this day in history, in 1812, during the War of 1812, the Constitution met the British frigate Guillemere, and within 20 minutes had turned it into a dismantled hulk. The British seamen watched in amazement as their cannonballs seemed to bounce harmlessly off the Constitution's tough hull. Her sides were made of iron, one sailor cried, and the nickname Old Ironsides was born. With every battle won, the ship's reputation had spread. And in 1830, a Boston newspaper reported, inaccurately, that the Navy had plans to scrap the aging ship when a poet, Oliver Wendell Holmes, learned of the report and dashed off a verse titled Old Ironsides to warn his country's men about the Eagle of the Sea was in peril. The public outcry helped to convince the Navy to refurbish the vessel, and the poem cemented the public's affection for the ship. And in 1941, on this date, the Navy placed the Constitution in permanent commission, which means it is now open to the public at the Charleston Navy Yard in Boston, and millions have visited this proud old symbol of American strength, courage, and liberty. And by the way, I was one of those. My whole family and myself, we went there a few years back.
Really?
And set foot on Old Ironsides.
Wow.
Yeah. And then in 1814, on this date, British troops land at Benedict, Maryland, en route to capturing Washington, D.C. Those squirrely Brits. And let's see now, Gail Borden of Brooklyn, New York, receives a patent for his process of condensed milk in the beginning of a variety of instant foods. So Borden's Foods was born at that date in 1856. In 1946, on this date, Bill Clinton's 42nd U.S. president was born in Hope, Arkansas. And that concludes this day in history. And we're back. So how is things going for you? What's going on?
Well, I was going to talk about a little bit of Haiti.
Okay,
since, we had the 7.2 earthquake.
Yes,
pretty crazy.
Yeah, there was the last report I saw this morning was about, and I'm sure the number's higher today at this moment,
Mhm.
but it's 1,400 they've recovered as perished.
Yeah.
So it's very, very sad, and our hearts and prayers definitely go out. It's sad to hear. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's kind of toughening. It's almost like, at least from like a standpoint of somebody who has family in Haiti.
Yeah.
My whole entire family was shocked to hear about it. We were even calling like our Haitian friends, like, "Hey, did you hear about this? Are you reaching out to people?"
Mhm.
It's hard to reach contact because everything's down in the country. Our main mode of communicating with family members is through WhatsApp. So clearly, things were not working, and
Oh,
it's almost like, first we had the assassination of
right.
the president,
Yeah, dreadful.
which leaves
Yeah.
the country with no leader
Right.
whatsoever, and then now we have an earthquake.
Right.
So it's like hit after hit, and it's
Right.
like, what
and
do you
then
do?
there's the storm came too. There's
Yes.
flooding.
Yeah, and
So
man, it's like nature is like, nope, and
Right.
it's hard and it's complicated. But I took some time to do some research
Mhm.
into
As you do.
investing, right?
Yes,
Right, but
yeah.
into investing ways to help out, because
Right.
when we were talking about the assassination, I was very much focused on, how can we help the country? How can we help the country move on?
Mhm.
How can we transform Haiti, which is often perceived as the country that needs saving? How can we kind of transform that to Haiti becoming a self-serving, a self-sufficient country?
Right.
But with these double whammies, triple whammies, that's not going to happen overnight, sadly, or
Yeah.
even like in a lifetime. But we can always help. Thank goodness for that. And I just wanted to say, because I've been seeing this over, and many Haitians out on social media just been, don't throw your money to any organization out there. I know a lot of people are saying that you shouldn't donate to the American
Why?
Red Cross Association.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why?
somehow they never truly helped. I don't know. I just see a lot of
Wow.
disdain
That's the
towards
first time
them.
I've heard this. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I heard a lot about that. A lot of
Mm.
people are also saying don't support anything that the Clintons were saying. I didn't see that they said anything,
Hmm.
but I know that they had some type of history with Haiti
Hmm.
and whatnot. I'm not too sure about it, but they were saying don't go there.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of like people like to use Haiti as a way to get a cash grab, or to abuse their potential to do missionary trips and help out the people, and then they actually don't. So,
Hmm.
but I found some websites and I found some organizations. The first one is Atlanta for Haiti. So they currently have an emergency relief trip planned from September 9th to the 15th in Plaisance, Haiti. I've never heard of that place before,
Hmm.
but I'm only familiar with the capital and the mountains where most of my family is
Hmm.
based in. So, but if anybody wants to, of course, go on that mission trip, help people and whatnot.
Right. Now, I
Atlanta
do
for
know
Haiti.
that one of the first planes that left from locally
Mm-hmm.
came out of Fort Pierce to part of the relief effort.
Really? Was it a part of
Yeah.
the church?
I think it may have been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to talk about that too. Because I know personally, Christ Fellowship was one of like the first people who I'm pretty sure they already had people in Haiti already, just from previous mission trips and whatnot,
Mhm.
ready to give out aid and help people, give medical supplies, food
Right.
supplies, and whatnot. So they were talking about it when I went to church on Sunday. It was good to see. I was very
Good.
happy to hear that. So they already had a hands-on thing.
Good.
So, but it's good to see that people are also
Yeah.
reaching out. Oh, that's so good to hear.
Yes.
That really makes me happy. But Atlanta for Haiti, they're based in obviously Atlanta, but you can send care packages through their website, and they accept donations. And I found a really
Probably
nice
donations are best. That way they can gather up whatever it is they
Yeah.
need, like blankets and other
quote.
things.
Hygiene products,
Mhm.
all those types
Right.
of things. But I really like their quote from the website, as they said that we desire to focus on shaping both spiritual and lively aspects, which prove that neither Haiti or similar nations are the SHIT whole countries that some people perceive them to be. More importantly, our team recognizes that Haiti, along with many African disparate nations, is our true family, regardless of how far removed we've been conditioned to believe we are. We are one, and it is our duty to take care of one another, one change at a time. Which is right.
Yes.
This is very nice, really nice to read, and I was like, yes, that's exactly what we need in this world, especially with the harm that's been brought upon Haiti. Another one is FOCAL. It stands for it's a foundation. The name is in Creole, and the whole entire website it's in Creole, but it stands for the Foundation of Liberty and Knowledge, and they are an organization that helps with farmers and grassroots organizations and ethnic local businesses within the country that serve to help those when these type of situations occur, like natural disasters, the earthquake and whatnot. So they have a current relief fund going on right now, and like I said, the website's all in Creole, but if you go to the top on the website, it says Haiti Relief Fund, or you can text South Haiti to 44321 in order to donate, which is also good. Makes things very convenient. The last one that I have is hashtag for the kids. And if you go forthekidshhaiti.com, look up something like that on Google. You'll find the website. It's based in the capital, which is good since that's where a lot of people are based, and that's where a lot of people fly in, especially from Florida. And this organization works to improve the daily lives of orphans in Haiti. So right now they're accepting volunteers, and just to show support, of course, you can donate. But overall, it's just not everybody has money overall to just throw at these organizations in order to help. Look at churches. Go to churches. Like Christ Fellowship, as I mentioned before. There are people, thankfully, who are going out to help and are actively raising money and whatnot, which is so good to see, so good to hear. And also, please, reach out to any Haitians. I had a lot of family members, teachers and whatnot. They were asking me if my family is okay, if everybody's doing okay, if we ever needed any help, please reach out. I think that's the best thing you can do. If you know anybody, just call them, text them, check up, make sure that they're okay, because it is sad. I mean, I'm reading about fellow Haitians having nightmares of like their houses crumbling on them because of, they can just only imagine the trauma, since people are still recovering from the 2010 earthquake. So of course, just reach out, do the best that you can, or spread awareness about it. Build a campaign or something. Do a GoFundMe or a change.org petition, which is a little foreshadowing for our next segment that I have on. But go ahead.
Well, I just want to add some more because being Catholic as I am, I went on and looked at Catholic services, because they have a pretty big relief services network.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And so they are responding to the Haitian earthquake as well. And you can contact in Bogota, I guess, is one of their nearest centers, is Robin Pfizer, and she's at Catholic Relief Services, and it's robin.fizer@crs.org. And then if you want to just contact here in the U.S., in Baltimore, Maryland, is Brittany Wichenthal, and she can be reached at brittany.wichtenahl at crs.org. And or you can just give her a call at 757-748-5003. And so Catholic Relief Services is sending teams to provide clean water, sanitation, shelter, emergency supplies in response to the major earthquake that struck southern Haiti early Saturday morning. While the severity of the damage is still being determined, communications in down parts of the country, hundreds of deaths have been already reported, as well as extensive damage to buildings and homes. So,
yeah, nice.
So they're on it.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a resource. That's so good to hear.
Yeah, they're a global resource, Catholic Charities.
Oh, that's good. Okay. All right, that's wonderful to know. But moving on,
Mhm.
Haiti, we are praying for you. All my fellow Haitians out there, stay strong.
There you
We
go.
got you.
Mhm.
But moving on, so some interesting news has been spreading around school lately, and I think this is so funny to see. A fellow classmate of mine started a petition on change.org, and it's called "Reform the Current Martin County School District Dress Code."
Oh my
Um,
God! Back to this, huh?
Oh, what do you mean back
Well,
to this?
we
Tell
had
me, tell me, tell
we
me.
had dress code conversations in 1970, in 1968, 69, 70. Yeah.
Here in Martin County, or like
In
everywhere.
Detroit area where I'm from.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, it's it just keeps recycling.
Oh no, of course.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think, okay, I just like I want to be in law, and I've practiced building arguments through youth and government for 4
Mhm.
years now. I've read all sorts of Supreme Court cases. I've literally sat in court, here
Mhm.
in Martin County and in Port St. Lucie. I've experienced all of it. So
Mhm.
when doing whether you believe that we should have dress code, this, that, girls, exposing themselves, boys can't control themselves, all that type of nonsense. Whatever argument you make, we should be professional about it, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
So this girl, I think she's a part of. I had her teacher for math, one of the best math teachers I've ever had, and she's cool. And her whole entire petition is great. I'm gonna read it out to you guys.
Okay.
The current Martin County School District dress code not only infringes upon students' creativity and self-expression, but also contains heavy misogynistic undertones and inconsistency in regards to the enforcement of the code upon female students versus their male counterparts. Enforcing a dress code mainly catered towards women under the precedent that their bodies are a distraction to the learning environment is not only false but appalling lesson for the Martin County School District to be presenting to the impressionable youth. The current dress code not only sexualizes feminine bodies, but overall devalues the feminine education by enforcing students to leave the classroom until they are dressed in what is deemed a non-distracting manner. Meanwhile, these actions support the ideology that boys will be boys. Instead, the school system should redirect the energy they are currently using to police the feminine body into educating students on how sexualizing their classmates is flawed. All in all, this petition is rallying for a change within the current Martin County School District dress code and the way it is written and enforced in a misogynistic manner. This website only allows for one image to be uploaded. Oh, that has to do with the pictures. But right now, it has 2,150 signatures, and we're currently trying to get to 2,500. So we're almost there. And again, I'm just witnessing firsthand. Whether you
Okay, the
believe
signatures from the student body.
yes,
Okay.
whether you believe that the dress code is bad, good, this or that, I can personally say that the first 3 days of school was insane with dress code. Everybody was and I saw boys get dress coded, I saw girls get dress coded.
Okay, so what were the boys doing wrong?
The boys, specifically one of my friends actually in the IB program, he had ripped jeans, and they were like they were very minuscule, like it wasn't even anything, just small rips in his jeans.
Okay.
But of course that's against dress code. The girls, there's actually pictures here, they're just showing barely any midriff. This one girl has an outfit. I know her personally. It's a little bit unconventional. It fits a more e-girl, emo, kind of goth aesthetic. This other girl just had rips at the bottom of her jeans. A lot of it though just has to do with the midriff or the length of the shirt. There's even saying that teachers or administration will go around and tell girls to lift up their arms above their heads to see if their shirts lift up, and show their belly buttons or something like that. So just things like that. I like I said, whether you believe this is something worth fighting for or not, dress code personally at South Fork was too much. It was obnoxious. I'm sorry.
So it's restrictive is what you're saying.
Yes, it was in the problem is that my personal opinion is that if you have a specific dress code, if you're going to enforce dress code, I think your school should personally have a uniform. So my mom always talks about
I was just
how,
about to go there.
really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
good. Because my mom always tells me, and she's like, "Oh, American kids, when I was a child, because my mom went to a Catholic school in Haiti, she's
Mhm.
saying she would say how she had to iron her shirt and make
Mhm.
sure her skirt was perfect and had to wear socks and specific shoes. And she would often tell me that was to a point where her teachers would check her underwear and like smell her breath and do her hair and everything like that.
Ew.
Yeah. Ew, yes, but it
Yeah.
would enforce the standard that you have to come to school perfection, like dressed like your education matters.
Right.
And in a
Right.
sense like that, there's a specific
Well,
standard.
and
you
it
know.
also imparts the notion that you want to improve the appearance of self,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Show that your school is serious and that it's
Mhm.
not teaching a lousy student body.
Mhm.
And I completely understand, and I am not against dress code. I think that if there's a certain attire, it should be stated, it should be shown. Like many private schools here, they have a specific uniform that the students have to follow. And
Mhm.
in that case, the enforcement of dress code, if somebody steps outside of that, I think the enforcement is reasonable. But what I can say for my 4 years of being at South Fork specifically, that's not the case. I've seen kids get dress coded for one thing, and then another kid, regardless of race, sex, gender, this, that, whatever argument anybody wants to
Mhm.
throw, gets away with it. And it's almost like, okay, well, you can't be wishy-washy with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? If one girl wears, and this same girl, her mother told my class, her mom's a teacher, told my class how she did an experiment where she wore leggings. You're not supposed to wear white leggings. She wore leggings for 8 days straight, and then she started with a long shirt that covered probably like to her knees, and throughout the days it slowly got higher and higher and higher, and she wanted to see how long this experiment would last until she was dress coded. So it lasted for 8 days. So she got away with dress code for 8 days. Not saying like bad good, but it's just
Mhm.
that just goes to show the inconsistency.
Right.
And there's not a set image on how we should be looking when we go to school.
But think about the energy that she put into trying to navigate or trip up the system,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to just focusing on her classwork.
I guess that's right, but
I
a
mean,
lot
I
of us
don't.
are a part of like the student body and whatnot, and we
Mhm.
want we want to be able to express ourselves because
Mhm.
honestly, when you go off to college and whatnot, you're gonna be working professional jobs. A lot of these kids out here want to be like doctors, lawyers, this, that. So you're not gonna really have time to dress up and express yourself creatively, dye your hair blue, purple, and all these other things. And trust me, they are there at school. There are lots of kids who find creative ways to express themselves, but I feel like high school is the only time you get to do that. And
Yeah, join the drama club. Then you can do that, and
that's funny.
do it on the stage.
That's funny. Yeah,
Right?
I guess so. But
Right?
I mean, high school is about finding yourself because you're on your own once you hit 18.
I get that.
It's just my personal problem is the consistency. Don't bash somebody for one thing and then get on another person for another thing.
Right.
But my biggest problem with this
Hypocrisy is the biggest bugaboo that I think when you're in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest thing that is the biggest tripwire for students. The first thing that they fully recognize is hypocrisy. Do for you, but not for me. Say that
interesting. Okay.
that's the first thing that I think as students are maturing and thinking about things and critically, they go, I see inconsistency here.
Yeah.
And so that's just part of the process, you know?
That's true.
Yeah.
But we're going to come back to this because I have more to say. So stay tuned, everybody.
All right.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto!
Wrong hat.
I take a 7.5.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Opinions expressed are those of the program host and guest and not WSTU. WSTU does not endorse. Opinions expressed are those of the
You don't need the disclaimer. What is going on? We already did that.
But it's all good since
Yeah.
we're gonna get back onto this dress code thing.
All right.
So, like I started with the argument and whatnot, and how when you're trying to fight for anything, let's be a little bit professional about it. And I'm not talking about the specific description when it comes to the intention of this petition. It's the people who are supporting it that I think ruins it, because I told you while we were on break that I actually asked the poster's mom about it, my former teacher, and there were other teachers around, and they were like, "Oh, we've heard about this petition," and it wasn't like, it was definitely
was
like,
not a
"Here we
happy
go
experience.
again."
Yes.
You know, like, oh. Like every year, some kid tries to pull the dress code is this
Right,
and the dress
right.
code is that, and boys will be boys this,
Right.
and
So-
I just found that interesting.
So 50 years after I dealt with it, it's still going on.
Yeah.
So the only way to really eliminate it is to have uniforms,
Yes, exactly.
because then there's no more conversation. You
Yeah.
know, but you know exactly what shirt you're going to wear in the morning, exactly what kind of skirt or trousers you're going to wear, and it's game over. You know,
Exactly.
and then I think there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah.
It's just because we had kids that were, the kids that were the rough crowd, they dressed
Delinquents.
they dressed a certain way, and we had kids that were, more modest in their dress styles, and there was clashes. So it's just a lot easier.
Yeah, to just have a set standard that everybody follows. And if you go against the standard, well, we gave you an example.
Right.
We laid things out perfectly.
Right.
We're not being ambiguous about this.
Right.
And you consciously chose to disobey it.
Right.
While everybody else chose. I think we should have a uniform. I think it makes life a lot easier. And you don't have to wake up in the morning and worry about if I'm going to get dress coded or not.
Right.
When my sister was going school shopping, she kept asking me, she's like, and she would always get the jeans at like Walmart or something, or Forever 21, that had like the smallest little rips in them. And I would be like, okay, go ahead, play that game. But one day, the guy at the gate or the person who's taking note of dress code might have a bad day, catch the little rip on the jeans, and you get sent home.
Right.
And
we had it with this with guys. If you had pants on, what most guys would wear their pants, right? Blue jeans, or I think blue jeans were allowed, or just regular slacks. But if you had belt loops, you better have a belt.
To prevent sagging.
You just well, they didn't have that. It's just that wasn't a conversation back then. But
that's so funny. Okay, nice.
But the deal was, you would get sent home if you had your shirt was tucked in, you had pants on, no belt on, you were sent home because you didn't have a belt.
Wow. I mean, hey, that was, I have no problem against it. Okay. Yeah. Uniform is sharp. So it is clean.
When my daughters were in school, I think there was like an orientation thing before they started. We went down to the gymnasium, and they had like all the parents, all the students in, and then they marched these students in talking about the dress code, what was not permitted. So it was a little yuck, humor. So they would say, okay, this is not what you're allowed to wear. So somebody would be a model for that. And then they'd march in. This one is appropriate. This one's not appropriate. This one's appropriate. And then they'd every issue that whether you're talking skirt length, whatever. But I don't think back then they cut their clothes either. The worn thing. Yeah.
So like the ripped jeans and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a more of a later 2000 style.
Yeah. Maybe.
I personally, I don't really like ripped jeans. That's just me personally.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get it. Yeah.
it's about
But-
the trends, the aesthetic, and whatnot.
Right.
But before we move on to our next topic, I really want to go into these comments, but we have a caller from what it seems.
We have a caller,
So
go ahead, caller.
Go ahead.
You're on the air.
Got a caller on the line.
Yes.
Hi, how's it
So-
going?
Back in my day,
Yes.
Mhm.
them dresses had to be below the knee.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's right.
You know, it's sort of like you say, if you're going to make that strict the dress code, you need to go ahead and just put uniforms out there.
Exactly.
It
Exactly.
makes it easy. And then you don't have the people that, that shop at Walmart, and there's those the upper ones that had to shop at Macy's and get, the
Mhm.
whatever.
The latest foo-foo, yeah.
They have to get the super duper, $150 pair of blue jeans, which most parents can't afford to spend, $150 on a pair of jeans.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just incredible. But I think so much stress comes out of kids, because of dressing. Because how many times have you heard them making fun about somebody that's wearing something that's a little bit different, or something like
Exactly.
that?
Exactly.
And it sort of brings a little different element. But I just, and I really do appreciate you guys being on the radio, because I sit and listen to you on my drive home, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday.
All right.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, and thank you for your
It's sort of
comment.
It's just sort of,
Mhm.
I'm glad that some of the youth of today has some brains about them.
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
much of the youth of today just
Brainwashed
yeah,
and
it's
intelligent, not
Yeah.
motivated to make a change for the
not
future.
motivated. That's the
Mhm.
word I want to use, because it's like, man, I tell you what, I don't know. I think the devil's worst advocate is that cell phone. But
Oh, I
it's
agree.
like-
When I go to college,
know,
I'm getting a flip phone.
It's like unbelievable that, I remember I used to have a small business, and I'd hire, a young kid to help out, up at the front counter and all that kind of thing. And
Mhm.
turn around, next thing I know, there's I'm not really a person that comes down on somebody, so I just sort of let it go for a couple times just to make sure,
Mhm.
and it starts being all the time. And then the next words out of their mouth is, when do we get paid?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're going to get paid for standing around texting your friends all day?
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
like, where's our logic here? I mean, it's like our work ethic is not just in the garbage here. We gotta do something to create that income,
Yeah.
Exactly.
But anyway, you guys have a great afternoon.
Thank
Too.
you.
I
as
appreciate
well.
you calling.
All right.
And we'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank
See
you
ya.
so much.
Enjoy the rest of your week too, sir. All
All
right.
right.
Well, that
All
was
right.
nice. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. I mean, I don't know, and I have to be honest, and I've definitely been I have friends who dress I don't know how to say this.
Unconventionally.
Yeah, and
All right.
I even have a friend who dresses up as the opposite gender as well, and I've personally seen him be made fun of, or them. I apologize, them for being made fun of
Right.
for dressing what they feel is on the inside,
Yeah.
And so when I see things like that, I'm like, I feel like things would just be so much easier if we had a specific uniform and whatnot, and
Right.
there wouldn't be this talk of, oh, this is misogynistic
Yeah.
and boys this and boys, and it's not to say that this is not something we need to suppress, but
Hmm.
rather it eliminates any of that occurring from
Right.
any party whatsoever, whether it's
Because
on
all
the
this
students
stuff
and the
detracts from your ability to learn. The
Exactly.
reason why, I mean, socialization is important. That is a
Mhm.
big part of going to school is, hanging out with your peers and socialization. I get that.
Mhm.
But the premier reason why you're there is to learn.
get the diploma.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've been spending my 4 years doing.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just really quickly before we go on, I
Yes.
want to read some of these arguments because, oh boy, this
Oh
is
boy.
not how you defend something you believe in. Let's
All
just
right.
say that.
All right.
So the first comment from 5 days ago says, boys wear like 4-inch seams shorts and I can't have rips below my knees and my jeans. Make it make sense. Okay. And then another one says, I'm just trying to be drippy. That's it. Just
Drip.
drippy.
Okay. What does that mean?
So you never heard like dripped out,
No.
trying to look fly, fresh, cool?
Okay. cool.
Yeah,
I
something
get
so
cool.
along those lines.
Okay.
It's more of like a swag type of term.
All right.
So
all right.
here, let's see this. Notice how the only people who have been dress coded are, in all capitals, young girls. Interesting. Here, let's see. Leggings are
You mean
comfortable.
like maybe younger classmen? You mean?
I just think young girls in general,
Oh.
since all of us are like not 18 yet. but-
Okay.
Oh well.
All right.
Another one says leggings are comfortable. Let's regulate girls being comfortable and focused on studying.
Let's see. All right. Yeah.
Interesting, right?
Mhm.
Sexualizing girls wearing normal outfits is disgusting and needs to change. I've never seen that personally happen at South Fork, where there's like a sexualization,
Mhm.
but I understand where they're coming from, but make it make sense, question mark, connect the dots. There was another one that I saw that really like threw me off. And I think it started with, don't get me wrong, girls are hot. Yes, it's right here. It's right here. It says, girls are hot, don't get me wrong. But county really has to regulate what they wear. Coming from a guy's point of view, I don't think they should be strict on the opposite gender when we have it so easy ourselves. System one-sided, it's effed. So I just, like I said, you say like it's so unprofessional.
Yeah.
And I would, and like let's just say, because you mentioned how these kids, it would be like a student body or the class president would go to the administration, the court, or
Right.
something.
Maybe work with the principal or
Yes.
assistant principal. It's like a team. They would
Yes.
they would create a team, and then they would come up with a dress code that everybody could agree to.
Yes. So in that type of case, if we were to take this
Right.
and bring it to the principal with these type of comments, would anybody take us seriously?
I don't know, but maybe there should be, if anything, the conversation should elect some people to represent the student body, and then take the issue to the administration and see what you can hammer out.
No, but it's
Otherwise, because what happens is you just got knuckles banging each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, nothing really gets done.
Right. Right.
But I just personally think that people think that they help when they comment things like that.
Right.
Like, I just want to look
That's not-
drippy.
right.
If I were to bring that to our principal or the
That's not
superintendent of
helpful. No.
Martin County, that would not reflect well. It would not reflect sophistication, education, and that that this is truly a problem. This is more like a whole bunch of kids complaining and whining
Right.
that they can't dress up. And
Yeah, I mean,
whatnot.
where does it end? I mean,
Yeah.
see, that's the problem.
Yeah. But I just wanted to bring some light with that. I support this. Just be smarter about comments, please. Social media, social media is always a problem, but it's okay.
And so, the problem is these comments live on. So when they become, adults, those words stay there.
Yeah, and their names are on there, first and last name. So
yikes.
Oh well.
Yeah.
All right, and it's time for our break, correct?
It is indeed.
We're going to be talking about femininity and hypergamy next, which is going to be really funny.
Whoa, all right.
So stay tuned on that, all right?
Okay. I like it. You're getting good at these teasers. I love it. All right. We'll be right back.
welcome back. And you know what? I'm just gonna get right into it. So,
All right.
for the longest amount of time, I stumbled upon something absolutely insane.
Really?
So, I'm
More
a little
insane
bit
than our daily insanity that we have.
that I always bring to the
Yeah.
studio here. Yes,
Okay.
indeed.
Okay.
Because it has to do with life. It has to do with femininity, and it has to do with I think our deep generational issues almost.
Wow.
But we have a caller, I'm suspecting. Go ahead.
You are
go ahead.
correct. Yes. Go ahead, caller.
Hey guys, how are you?
Mr. Bob, I'm happy
Hey,
you called.
how you doing? I hope everybody in Haiti is getting along as well as possible.
Yeah, my family personally is doing okay. They live up in the mountains, so thank goodness everybody's fine. We were able to get in contact with them, but I can't say for others.
Yeah.
It's complicated, but you know what? There's people who are already doing the best that they can, which
Right.
is really good to hear. So,
Yep.
how have you been?
I'm doing okay, and I think one day you might be president of Haiti and have dual citizenship. And
Aw.
don't be like Imelda, though. You don't need 3,000 pair of shoes.
Oh no. I'm definitely not a materialistic person.
She wasn't in the uniforms, apparently. When I was in school, we had a uniform, especially in high school. We had a denim jacket, denim blue jeans, Levi's or Wranglers, and boots or suede shoes. That was it.
Okay.
But I agree with if you ever saw the movie Up in Smoke, if you haven't, it's kind of funny to watch, as old as it is. They were all a bunch of stoners, and they had a band going, and they had somebody got them these uniforms, like these gold things from some bad prom or something, and everybody in the band said, one guy says, "Oh man, they're all the same, man. We want uniforms that are all different." And that's a funny movie if you ever get to see it.
Maybe I will. You know, I'd like to. I have some time on my hands, so
Yeah,
I'd love
called
to watch
Up in
it.
Smoke. It's Cheech and Chong.
Teach and Chung.
Cheech and Chong. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll look
Up-
into it.
up,
Maybe
yeah.
maybe I'll do a little analysis on it.
There you
know.
go.
My mind's always racing.
You'll actually probably find it pretty funny. And I'll tell you what, for California, I was in Jersey at the time, but California, that wasn't too far off in the way a lot of LA was.
Wow.
No, it was a hysterical movie, and they showed it at the theaters like after midnight, and none of the ushers came in. They just shut the doors. It was like living in a giant bong while the movie was on. It was pretty weird back then.
Oh well, I wish I was born back then though. I feel like you guys had some a lot better styles, in my opinion.
It was an interesting time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for
All
sure.
right. Well, it was good to hear from you, Mr. Bob. I want to let you know I wrote about you in my college essay. I read it. I'm having it be picked apart by the scholarship people that I work with, but I wrote about you in it. You know, about the radio show and whatnot. So my mom was like, "You should tell him he's gonna be famous once that but that essay gets me to college." So just wanted to let you know.
All right. Very cool.
Well, then when you're president, I'll be the first man.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
And you'll get a first class ride to Haiti. You know, luxury hotel and everything. No, I guarantee it.
All right.
That's funny. I've never been written about. A couple of reports from police, but nothing major.
No. Oh man. Oh, you're so funny. All right. Well, I hope
Thanks for calling.
Always sending blessings your way. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your week. All right.
And to your people over there. Remember years ago that what was it, earthquake or a hurricane?
It was an earthquake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Bill Clinton was sending all this money over there, and then they found out that Bill and Hillary they were sending contractors that they were giving the money that they were requesting to contractors they had favors with,
Yeah.
So that was not a good thing. But no, I wish the best for the people over there.
All right, that's good to hear. It's good to know that you support us. It's always appreciated. So.
All right, dear. Have a good one. Have a good time, everybody.
Of course. Bye. It's always good to hear from you. See you.
Bye.
Anyway, so hypergamy. The official definition of hypergamy is the act of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of a superior sociological or educational background. I got it. I'm trying to speak fast because we're running out of time, sadly. This movement and its rediscovery has been popular among African American women in recent times, especially on YouTube, where Black women create videos surrounding the topics of hypergamy, self-care, and whatnot. There's this one YouTuber that this article was talking about, saying how her advice specifically spawned a debate that Black women had neglected themselves for years for the ultimate title of the independent woman and I don't need a man category. And in addition to this, according to statistics, only 1 in 4 Black women marry a quality, quote unquote, around that husband. While the stats for their white counterparts either being married or will be married to a quality husband or doubled. So and you know, this is like a whole entire femininity movement where it's like, oh, we need to talk really soft, and it's like Black women don't fit the beauty
narrative
standards and whatnot. So it's
really,
that's what they say. Oh, trust me, I hear it all the time. These YouTubers, especially Black women who dress up and they have like a lot of makeup on, their hair is done, and like they have like their nails and they dress elegantly. They say like, Black women don't fit this beauty standard. So you as a Black woman or as a young Black girl need to work a lot harder in order to get the man that you want and secure the bag and live the life that you want. And so, but here's the funniest part, because there seems to be an opposite movement called MGTOW. It's MGTOW, and it's called Men Going Their Own Way, which is an anti-feminist, misogynistic, according to Google, mostly online community advocating for men to separate themselves from women, from a society where they believe has been corrupted by feminism. So the funniest thing is that you have women, specifically Black women, chasing towards men, relying on men, moving away from the I want to be an independent woman narrative, running towards men who are like, I'm going my own way. So I think it's so funny. But their philosophy, so instead of the hypergamous philosophy of marrying a man for his money and whatnot, they're saying that they want a statement of self-ownership, you know, where the modern man preserves and protects his own sovereignty above all else. So they say that women are essentially portrayed as parasites riding on the coattails of men who have throughout history have been responsible for far greater miracles of science, discovery, and human endeavor. By shaking women off, it is explained that men will be free to pursue even higher achievements. So that is their beliefs. And there is like millions of men on the internet who follow this. So here's my analysis, my 2-minute analysis of this really strange phenomenon that we have ourselves into.
All right.
Both beliefs, ideologies sound great on paper.
Yeah.
Okay, right? You know, because I would love to you know, have this, you know, Disney life of marrying a man who's rich and I can live happily ever after in a castle. And I'm sure lots of guys would like to feel self-assured and independent and whatnot in their own little world. But the people who practice it, I think these beliefs come from a place of insecurity, because from the hypergamous side of things, what I always hear is that they say Black women need to dress up and they need to suppress who they are. They live by this quote that, you know, men prefer pretty women and pretty women come with a price tag, things like that. Very, I think from where these beliefs stem from, they're very devaluing, and you're almost changing yourself for this outcome that you keep trying to fight to have. And it's just, I don't. Like I said, on paper it sounds nice, but we need to look at why we're changing ourselves, because this is a lifestyle change. You know, you are changing yourself because you're aware that you fitting this narrative now might get you the life that you want, but that's not always the case. So are you really changing yourself for you, or for a man, or for a woman, or for a life? And is that how we really want to bring meaning to our lives and whatnot? So I'll talk more about it next week.
These are good questions.
But yeah.
All right. Very good.
Thank you, everybody who called in today. Have a good rest of your week.
All right.
See you next time.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.